Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Just swell.
Just got back from your drive from Denver to Boulder.
Yeah.
To the famous Pink Sofa Hour Studios.
Yes, here we are.
You are Wet Nights.
Yes, that is us.
Welcome. You're going to have to tell me the story of that name right now because I've been holding my question for months at this point.
Well, mainly it was just a drunken night at practice. The first two dudes that the band started with was Seth Stone from Dirty Few and Colfax, Speed Queen, and Root Beer Richie now. But it was me, him on drums, and then this other dude, Sam, that we had a band together called Leisure Boys. But we were just drunk practicing, trying to come up with a name, and at first we were going by Wet Heat. and then we found out that was
Wet
in
heat.
yeah, that was a band already. I don't know why we had a thing for wetness, but it was just kind of just come up with something funny but cool sounding. And
It does sound really cool. It evokes feelings of, I guess, sweaty, dancey kind of evenings, which is very close to what I feel when I listen to the music.
Oh,
So I'd say it works very well. My second most important question right now is, Dan, could you please turn off the air conditioning?
Yes.
I'm
Where
so
is
sorry.
it?
I think something else.
It's right there,
I
right
see
behind
it.
you in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hallway. You're a king, Dan. Thank you.
I got you.
While Dan's tackling that, something else that I remember Jasper telling me when I first found out that he played with this group before I joined was like just trying to take with the name and with the idea and with the band like rock and roll back to something kind of sexy. And I think coming from, I think Jasper and I share some musical history in groups that we played in before, garage rock groups and groups that had a lot of like punk roots. And I think that's still in our blood in a way, but we're also very inspired by like boogie and funk and soul, and those elements have started to creep into the music more. And I think that, just trying to keep it like kind of sexy and groovy and still making it rock and roll and just approaching it from that angle.
I feel like there's a lot of everything that you just said. I 100% feel, and also blues. There's such a heavy blues sort of like shuffle element to it that makes you want to move your feet, but also gives you sort of just like, I don't know, a lot of modern music, a lot of like impressive music is impressive because there's this like strong element of technicality behind it. And part of what made rock and roll sexy, I think, at one point, is that nobody had to be playing crazy licks. Like, somebody could just be playing the same note over and over and over again. It's just the coolest fucking thing because of how they're doing it.
Mhm.
The context of the song, the way they feel about how they're playing that note, and in general, just sort of the musicianship that comes with doing something like that. It's just as difficult, in a different sort of mentality.
yeah, like I think a vibe can be really hard to capture, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like like having just a certain vibe we're going for, and it's all very simple, but keeping simple rules, but being able to expand in those little rules. Like, I don't know, songs with 3 chords or whatever. It's like, how can you make a chorus different than the verse without changing any of the chord structure, and just keep that same simple 3 thing? Like, it creates like a nice challenge almost, keeping it really simple.
Yeah.
Like how you can change it up.
Constraints can kind of bring about creativity sometimes. It's a fun sort of rule to set for yourself. And again, it kind of keeps the whole aesthetic nice and tight. I think
Yeah.
that's really important to what you guys are bringing to the table.
I agree.
Most importantly, Big Cat Energy. The first 3 EPs that you guys released, in that order. There's
Yeah.
3 separate albums out there that, to me, spell out a phrase.
Uh-huh.
Was that intentional or?
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
For the record, I absolutely love it. And for the record, I forgot to turn these off.
oh, sweet lights. Oh, nice.
Camera.
They help a little bit.
But yeah,
We went out of order with action, camera, and then lights, but
yeah.
We'll get it by
Now
then.
we're ready. But oh wait, yeah, I should probably just turn.
it was a bit of a chaotic sort of setup, as you guys might be able to tell out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the setup.
We're total prima donnas.
But yeah, the Big Cat Energy. So that album was with Seth, Root Beer, and this other dude Mark. So this was like a whole different band for that album, and I was living in this commune space with all these petty cabbers. It's called the Church, and we record. They have a band room there, and we recorded that whole album in that band room. And then I think the Big Cat Energy just came about because Seth and Root Beer always wore cheetah or leopard print at that time. So we were just saying like big cat energy.
So it's not big cat energy, it's big cat energy.
Yeah, like like a tiger. Like,
Yeah, like a big cat.
Channeling the big cat from within is what I got from
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Fierce.
and originally, so I wanted to do it like the 3 EPs and then just get a physical copy, like vinyl or whatever, and have it just the Big Cat Energy album. We were kind of just doing the EP thing more for, we recorded it in batches, so it just made it easier instead of just doing a full album. And then be that like Spotify algorithm and stuff, if you just
Sure.
put stuff out more frequent, like if you drop an album,
like that.
that's a single release on there, but if you drop 3 EPs, that's 3 separate.
It's a fun strategy.
I think we all like paying attention to like different strategies or approaches that are available with releasing stuff now, and one of the bigger, more interesting parts of the streaming era, like being able to just put stuff out a single at a time, or do like 3 EPs that are kind of like a cohesive thing. And I think we're kind of thinking about how to approach that now as we kind of start to think about what the next release, with this current lineup is. And, it's going to definitely start with a few singles, and then from there we might build toward an album or maybe something similar, like a less conventional release. But the first track that we played is going to be our next single, and that should be here within the next couple of months or so.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about that lineup, because as has been mentioned, it sounds like it's changed fairly recently. So why don't we start off by introducing ourselves?
Yeah.
And you can tell me what you play in the band and how long you've been in the band.
Sweet. I'm Jasper Adkins, and I play guitar. I've been in the band, started the band in 2019, and as I said, there's a few different members, and then basically I moved back to KC. I'm from Kansas City originally. I moved back there for a year during COVID, moved back, and the other dudes in the band had started Root Beer Richie and the Reveille, and they were really busy with that. So I just kind of picked up a new group, and I met him at that Astro Church place I was living at, and there was just a party, and met him there.
Yeah, hello, I'm Harry Edwards. We met at Astro Church just about a year ago.
Yeah.
Feels like definitely longer.
Yeah,
It was a pre-UMS party, and that was my first UMS in Denver. I had moved here during COVID, and it was I'm originally from Texas. It was a very long, awkward time. Took me a while to find roots in the city, which has not been the case in most places I've, moved to before. And it took a minute, and then, met Jasper, and everything clicked, and then, a year later we just played UMS, and, actually getting to participate and do cool stuff like this. So, and that also at that party was...
What's up? I'm Dan Birkbeck, a.k.a. Big Dan B, a.k.a. The Man with the Plan, a.k.a. Slender Dan, and I play keys.
Big and slender. Quite a
Say what?
Big and slender.
Yeah, it varies.
Big and
Kind of
slender.
fluctuating.
We got
Okay.
him at the
Size.
Manson store.
Yeah, that too.
Dan and I knew each other back from Indianapolis, where I spent about 8 months, but it certainly felt like longer. Made a lot of good friends. He played in the lineup that I had out there at the time. And then when he came out here, we were definitely talking about doing something, and then we all just kind of came into the fold with what Jasper was doing.
Gotcha. So I heard about where everybody was from except Dan.
I'm from Indiana.
Indiana, okay,
Indianapolis,
which is
yeah.
where you
And that's where I
hung out with Harry.
met Harry, and
Harry's
we...
from Texas, then.
Yeah, he was from Texas, and he had a short stint in Indy, and during that time, we recorded a few songs and played one show.
Sweet.
One awesome show, I should say.
How long have you guys all been in Colorado?
I've been here 7 years, minus that stint in KC.
Sure.
But
Been here for 3.
About a year and 2 months.
Nice.
Moved
Congrats.
here last June. So
You're the most recent one.
I
And
am
then-
most fresh.
Not here with us currently.
yeah.
We also have a drummer, I guess.
I forgot.
yeah.
What's his
We
fucking
can talk
name?
about it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to say fucking.
He's right there on your phone, bro.
Our drummer is
Dumber.
Our drummer is. I hope he's listening. Dustin
He's not
Peterson.
even here to defend himself.
I hope he doesn't
Yeah.
watch this.
Let's go in. Who plays drums with us, also has built a studio/rehearsal space out of a unnamed audio-visual place nearby Denver, which is cool because we all get to practice there. It's called the No Name Room, and that's
in
where
the
we're.
spirit of the No Name Bar.
You have to ask him, but he's not
Okay.
here. So
I
I think he just couldn't
Missed
come
that
up with a name.
yeah, he's not
Okay.
creative.
But
Just kidding.
Fair.
yeah, Dustin is all right. He's cool, but I think he's from San Diego, so we got people from all. But he's lived
Yeah.
here like 10 years or so. But
Yeah, and you have some roots in San Diego as well.
That's where I was born.
Interesting
I don't really claim it, but yeah.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
where all my family's at, but yeah.
Cool. That's super cool, guys. So let's talk a little bit about your production process, I guess. More so, I get really interested in how it is that people come up with new songs. With you guys, does one person do a lot of the songwriting, or do the ideas sort of stem from different people and you guys build on them together? Is the process sort of organic, or is it more, hey, here's some sheet music?
So yeah, like right now, so this first album, it's a majority of songs I've been working on, like kind of a mix of stuff, because I just recorded a bunch of demos, just whenever, and like, so there's a bunch, or not a bunch, there's a few that are like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, and then some that are like brand new, but typically it's been just like bringing a demo to the table, just like a song, and then we kind of have been playing through it and kind of just picking it apart, and then people figuring out what they want to play or how they want to play it. But that's just how it's like this first album, we're just kind of trying to get it out, but like going forward, we've been just jamming on new stuff, like Harry will have like a bass line and a verse or something, and kind of just like go from there. Or like Half Tank, I just had that riff, and then I went over to Harry's, and then we just kind of, I had like the riff and like maybe like the first line, and then we just went through the song and kind of re-sculpted it piece by piece in that way. But
I feel like there is a lot of organic creativity to the process. That was one that we kind of like started working on together, and like writing with people is tough, especially when you're already playing together and it's going well. It's like a whole new element. I think one of the cool things is, at the time we were working with a different drummer who was also, I think, pretty helpful in us like kind of finding flow in our creative process and our process of working with each other, because there was a lot of ideas that we brought to the table, and he was really good at reminding us to make sure that we were like servicing the song. And so within that, I think that like with a lot of things that we've done, we bring a lot of ideas, almost like at first like a maybe maximalist approach, and then from there like really strip things down to where like with that song, like it has a really steady bass groove that I just kind of tweak throughout the song, and there's just a lot of elements, but trying to keep things sort of simple, sort of groovy, kind of like rhythmic, I think is at its core. It seems like, though, with the larger history that we were just talking about with Wet Nights, like I know that Root Beer and Seth had like brought elements to songs and like sang leads on other ones. There's one that we'll probably play in a few minutes that our previous drummer and myself wrote that I sing, so I see a lot of creativity and just like organic flow to it.
because Big Cat Energy, we kind of did that same way. Like I just had demos and stuff, and the bass player and I were writing a lot of stuff together too. But like we'd bring it to practice, and then like, Root Beer would, be like, oh, we should add like a bridge here, or like, Seth would be like, how about like just like a pause break, just add like a drum beat and then build it back up, like little things like that, just to.
So it sounds like there's a lot of good communication happening between the members all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really important to that sort of process, and it's good to see.
Yeah, lots of experimenting, trying things. Like, we'll definitely like take songs and like, so we have like a few demos of songs that it's like the song is way different, like, than how it originally started, and then we'll be like, actually, I don't really like that, and then go back and make like another demo of closer to how we want it. But
And then, like, in the larger scope of production, it seems like Wet Nights is recorded in a lot of places, but probably the biggest, or one of the biggest recordings was done, the recording of Ain't There, which is, this is way before I was in the band, but my understanding of it, it was done at the
first
No
single,
Name...
yeah,
For a single.
For a single, yeah, it was done at the No Name Room with Dustin recording it, who later joined the band, and now we're
Yeah.
recording there again, which I think is kind of cool.
It's very full circle. I like
Yeah.
Tangled webs we weave.
yeah.
that. Man with the plan back there.
That's what I'm here for.
So, I like to ask this question quite a bit because sometimes the band members find out something new about each other. And sometimes they all have the same answer, which feels a little culty, in my opinion. So hopefully you guys aren't on that tip. But what is your favorite song to play out of your discography?
Ooh.
That's easy. For me, it's the one that I sing.
Man.
Sometimes people know each other's answers.
Uh,
I'll
I
ask,
think I
like,
will know yours currently.
I'm trying to think. Dan, you want to go first? Or?
I can't pass. All right. I'd say it's a toss-up for myself between the first song we played, Half Tank, and we have another tune that we won't play, but called Holy Sodomy.
Yeah.
That one I get to solo, so I really get to open up a little bit more. So I take great joy in that. So
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Holy Sodomy is a fun one. I think, probably one that we'll play in 2 songs from now. Leaving Here Tonight, just because that one vocally, just recently I've just kind of figured out how to sing it with more, I don't know, fluctuation and dynamics, and it's fun to sing for me compared to other ones. Like, I'm not like just screaming or whatever, or like, singing super loud. It gets a little emotional, and
Sure.
that's fun.
I want
like
to change
that.
my answer actually to Okinawa Mama.
Oh yeah, that one's really fun live.
You guys have
But
really
good-
fun song titles. Like, I
Good
like
live
saying them.
tune, yeah.
I love, like, I like solid, nice titles that easy to
tight.
memorize.
They're tight. I feel like there's always some correlation between people's favorite songs to sing and how much work they've put into them personally, or how featured they are perhaps on them, or other sorts of stuff like that. But I always get surprised occasionally, every once in a while, with the responses people give. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Of course.
That being said, would you guys like to hop into another song?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
We'll break it up a little bit, and that's also just a good segue right
Does
there.
Scooter ever end up on the recordings?
Oh yeah. Sometimes he'll sing along if he feels particularly.
He's just a heavy breather.
He's a howler. He's far enough away that he won't show up from
Okay.
there. But yeah,
I figured. But
yeah,
he's right over here by me.
yeah. He's keeping you company.
Oh, yeah.
And this one is Harry's song called One Something. So this is one he brought like a full demo to the table, and then mainly we've just been, a lot of it's just been figuring out the ending to the song, but
And I think that this one is potentially in line for the single treatment as well, hopefully in the near future.
oh yeah, this will be so we're doing 3 singles. We got Mid My Baby, the next we have Tank, and then One Something.
Mid-mod's already out, that was like early spring-ish
Yeah.
that one came out, so it's up there now, go listen to it.
Alright. Well, I'm ready.
Yep.
Oh yeah, wait, no I'm not. Maybe get the drum beat going.
Got that ready over here.
Alright, and
ocean, I wanna feel real love. Feel so tight, just like the river runs all the way down. I want so bad. I wish you knew that. 'Cause when you touch me, it makes me feel good. I'm coming over, I'm in your neighborhood. I'm there right now, knocking at your door. Let's take it down and mess around the floor. We're boiling over, hotter than hell. You take it off, now we're gonna take it off.
We're still going.
We're always still going with that song. It feels like you could fade it out like an 80s song.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of Spoon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
That's
You guys like
interesting,
Spoon?
Uh-huh. Damn, I haven't listened to them. in a minute.
You know the song I put my camera on?
Mm-hmm.
That's the song that it kind of evoked for me, which is also my favorite Spoon song. And it just has that fun sort of sexy vocals thing going on. Yeah.
I honestly don't know where that song came from, but I feel like it pulls from a lot of things that I grew up listening to, and also somehow sounds like none of them. I love that you said 80s because yeah, at a certain point that just 80s music, 80s fashion, 80s movies are, you know, such a huge influence in my life. And I, as a 90s kid, I don't know where that came from. I'm pretty sure it's my mom though. She had great taste in music and got me into Devo and, you know, a lot of very 80s dancey stuff. And 80s funk has been a huge influence for me personally as well. And I think that, you know, you were talking about Patrice Rushen and some funk artists. I don't know.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
You
I don't know how to
scared me.
say
I
it.
feel like I've been
All I
pronouncing
know
it
is
wrong the whole time.
nah. All I know is "Forget Me Nots" is a great song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course.
The original.
People think Men in Black
Yeah.
is where it came from, but
I
it's
know.
not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that influence was only heightened by I hadn't ever really spun records or considered DJing until like a year-ish ago. One of my good friends started playing records out and kind of found that lane of like specifically 80s funk as kind of his thing, and that kind of got me into it, and I started getting into that and also bringing in other stuff that I liked, other 80s dance music or stuff that was kind of krautrocky, a lot of stuff that
Sure.
has kind of the motoric beat in common. And then, Jasper and I had met, and he was like, what if we did like a vinyl night? And so we started doing this Wet Nights Weekender thing, which
Super
we've
fun
been,
idea, by the way. I feel like
Yeah.
I wish more bands would kind of like show people their music taste. You know?
Right. I love it.
I think that's a big part of the idea, and then I think also, it kind of helped us to show each other our music taste.
Yeah.
And kind of just build sort of a better understanding of what our touchstones of what our roots are and like where we differ and where we come together over this first year of playing together.
Yeah, and like Harry's, both y'all have shown me a lot of stuff. But yeah, I feel like I've learned so much new cool stuff that I normally haven't listened to. Like we have like a little Spotify playlist
Yeah.
that we all just add songs to, and it's just like our Wet Nights inspo. But
Likewise.
yeah, lots of good tunes.
But speaking of the Weekender, we'll be doing one of those tonight. So.
Oh yeah,
That's right, and
Mhm.
I will secretly be joining you as sectional.
Yeah.
My
Not
new
so
DJ
secret
persona.
anymore, huh?
yeah,
I
not so
guess not.
secret.
Which has been a running part of that thing. We've kind of always said, maybe just as like sort of a thing to get people there, but we've always said if someone brings a record, as long as we can spin it, we'll spin it. So
I can assure you, I won't let you guys down.
Oh no, I have full faith in you. I just mean if someone shows up with a record and it's something that we feel like we can put on in that environment, we've always had that.
Yeah, you
as a
said we
running thing.
can. Like physically, we could spin any record. It doesn't mean we should.
Of
Right,
course.
yeah.
there are some weird records out there that are kind of not normally shaped, which can give
Yeah.
people some challenges.
Well, don't be surprised if you get some requests tonight for something a
Oh.
little out of pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Which
I might have it. I have some weird shit. I have this. I don't want to. I'm not even gonna get to this. We'll get to it later. But I have some very special things that are very on brand
Special.
for what you guys are doing tonight.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
sometimes it happens, like someone asks for something and you're like, I only have this on vinyl, and they're like, okay, but do you have Megan Thee Stallion? I'm like, I'm playing Soul
Can I
right
hear
now.
Crack a Bottle by Eminem right now?
But then sometimes it's like, how long are you going to be here? Because I would love to play some ABBA. I'm just kind of like in like a stoner metal territory. It's going to take me a while to genre hop over there. Like, you got 45 minutes? I'll get you there.
That's
Yeah.
the difference between someone who DJs and someone who doesn't.
Yeah.
I just want to hear my song.
Right. I feel like the real art of DJing is just reading the room.
Yeah.
Being able to
100%.
see what people are listening to and how they're reacting to it,
Mhm.
and be like, I know what they're gonna like next.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
That's
like
the joy of it.
it's such a different way of performing, and I feel like any way to like get that because it's like all studying the crowd, and like you do that at shows and stuff too. It's like kind of gotta overlap and things, but
I think it really challenges you to listen to music differently, or to think about what you like about something, or why things are similar. Even I always think that's interesting. Sometimes you'll go reach for something that you think is the vibe and it's not, and sometimes someone else will put on something after something else. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize there was a connection there. You just
Right.
showed me that link.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, somebody requests a song and I play the song, but then right after I play a song that's like, if you like this song, you have to listen to this song. People appreciate that, because they as most ordinary music listeners getting recommendations from Spotify or just generally scrolling through the same things that they always scroll through, hearing something that suddenly opens up like a new territory, a new artist, a new like adjacent genre. It's such a joy for me to like see people feel that.
Yeah, it's also like showing them something new, but also maybe something they know in an entirely new way that they would have never fathomed.
Kraftwerk remixes.
Yeah, right.
Right. So we're not talking about DJing. We're talking about you guys.
yeah.
You guys have been playing together for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
What is one of your favorite experiences over the last year as a band, whether it be on stage, in a rehearsal room, in a production session, or otherwise. Maybe just out to dinner, maybe going to a Rockies game. I don't know what you guys
Haven't
like.
done that.
For me, honestly, sometimes it's just like some practices are just like it's just like the best time. Like like when everyone's just kind of feeling it and you're getting into the songs and like it, like I don't know, like that is, it's such a cool feeling, like especially like if, you know, you're all homies and you're like doing something together, and then like I don't know, it's a crazy feeling. I'd say those are definitely my best. Yeah, and then just, you know, getting drunk and high and like it's like partying, but like you're being productive.
That's called band practice.
Yeah. And it's,
Come on.
Yeah, and yeah, that's gotta be some. I mean, good shows too. Like those are always.
Those are the highlights for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Those are the givens.
It's the little things is what
Yeah.
Jasper's saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a highlight show?
Of shows we played of late, the show we played, we were direct support for Rupee Ritchie at Skylark the start of June.
Yeah.
That was definitely a highlight as far as shows. But I mean, outside of that, to kind of echo what Jasper's saying, there's been a lot of times we'll just get together with friends who are also in bands, like other musicians, obviously, and just have like a big jam. Like there's been multiple times, like that's how I met a lot of the people in the music community here. But then like the things that kind of spawn just out of those jams are just, you know, maybe never to be heard again.
Yeah.
Just having those moments as well, or like I definitely savor those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had some of our best shows recently. Playing wise, both our set at UMS and another recent one at 715. It's 715 or 715?
I think 7:15.
715. That was a really good show on our part. In terms of experiences, I think we played great, but just the overall experience of going out to the desert and playing out in the fields and the mountains for a little festival called Sykes Peak was definitely a highlight
Oh, you guys were at
experience.
Sykes
Yeah.
Peak?
That was awesome.
Okay, that was
Super
actually
awesome.
probably one of the funner, because there's like a little vacation.
I didn't want to point out the
Doing it,
obvious
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
the whole weekend was like maybe the best weekend
So you
since
guys
I've
know
moved
like
here.
Yard Art and Riding Carpets and those homies. That's all the people I interviewed last week for Wonder Jam.
Oh,
Interesting.
nice.
There were so
Yeah.
many bands there. Yeah,
That was a
Yeah.
lot.
we hung out with a
Yeah.
lot of different people. I think one of the highlights for me was just being on a moderate amount of mushrooms in the middle of like kind of a desert surrounded
is a
by
really-
mountains.
Yeah, what's a moderate
Jumping
amount?
on a trampoline, watching
Yeah.
a band play was
That's
kind of next level.
Yeah.
It felt like being on the moon.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a highlight. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm waiting for. I've always loved like tours and stuff, so I feel like I'm excited for whenever we get to the opportunity to do that, because I feel like.
Yeah, driving up here to Boulder was the closest thing we've
Yeah.
gotten.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like,
ex-
yeah, we're in the van.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm excited for some like, you know, road tripping moments for sure. We just haven't got there yet. Maybe next summer.
Well, first off, it's really hard to do tours out of Denver in
Mhm.
general. Like everything's so far away. If you guys were East Coast based, like you'd already have gone like
Yeah.
tours. But what is your favorite thing about the Colorado music scene? Now that I've disparaged it slightly.
Oh, the venues. I love, like, I don't know, I haven't, well, being from Kansas City, all the venues are either, like, insanely small or way too big for, like, our genre, or at least, like, our following. So it's, like, I mean, the really cramped shows are fun, but you can't really, like, move up in any way there. And then coming here, I'm, like I would just go to High Dive every night, like, the first year being here. And, like, that place is awesome. Like, it sounds great. It feels like a fucking rock and roll bar.
Yeah, I love
And-
High Dive.
Yeah, just great energy, good people, and but yeah, like, yeah, all the venues, like, and the fact that you can do a show at 7:15, and it's like just a small little dive bar thing where you're playing on the floor, or you can be playing like upstairs at Bobcat Club, where it's like got a nice stage but not like huge, and like you can have like 150 people there, and it's a packed house, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, huge shout out to Skylark and Bobcat Club.
Mhm.
That's the first place that I was at in Denver where it, you know, made me feel like home. And I think the place that I felt the most like that before would have been in Austin. But I've noticed so many little things that are different, that are hard, you know, hard to put a finger on. You know, Austin is a city that has so much to offer in terms of music that I really like, and also because of that, I don't know, I don't know that there's something about Denver that makes me want to live here, but my experience here has been vastly better than anywhere else I've ever lived, you know. And I think something I've noticed here, you know, with the rock and roll scene is like there's so many cool people who are just genuinely like good and like nice, cool to be around. Shows
That's my favorite part.
start on time relatively and they end on time, and I feel like maybe there's a little bit more like working class solidarity within that, like, or you know, maybe just people are a little, you know, more in tune with themselves and like aren't just trying to like get completely shit hammered every night like
Yeah.
at a show, you
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
for that reason it centers the music. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add. I think everything's been touched on, but I guess from my personal experience, like, we've kind of been talking about things at a local level, but I'd say, like, as a music fan as well, first, like, as well as being a musician, like, just the large amount of shows that come through Denver that you're able to attend on a weekly basis at, like,
Yeah.
theaters and auditoriums of various sizes, and then Red Rocks, obviously, like, you know, all that is just right at our disposal. So, and obviously those are places I aspire to play as well, but like just as a fan, like I said, you know, that's
So that's a
really
fun
cool.
question I like to ask as well is what is your next target venue that you want to try to get into? Something that you feel like that's within reach. Let's try to make it happen.
I was thinking like for like album release or something, it'd be like, I don't know, I'd like to play at like Larimer, Lost Lake for that, like we're a headlining show, mainly just because their ties with like AEG and stuff, like I know that that's like kind of the next step up, but also, yeah, we still have like an album to do and
yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah, Lost Lake was also a memorable show because we played together before we were officially Wet Nights, and that one just randomly was a banger. Like, I feel like we just were super on that night.
Yeah,
It was very
that was-
fun. Opening has its perks for sure.
yeah, like I wouldn't want to do one of those where it's like our show quite yet, just because getting people there or whatever is hard.
I feel like I want to turn up your microphone
Oh, okay, yeah.
just for the exciting sort of sound that it brings.
Oh yeah. Hello.
So you guys got two more that you want to play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'll have us.
Yeah.
Let's get them going.
Let's call it here.
All right. So this is currently my favorite one to play. Just it's a little bit more down.
The answer to the earlier question.
Yeah.
Keeps changing.
Yeah.
Love it.
Whatever the current song is we're playing, that's my favorite. That work?
All right.
Hit me.
There we go.
I think it's time you settle down. I'm not the man I once was before. Now I'm passed out on the ground, trying to pick myself up once more. Traded places with the man in the mirror. I'm losing my mind, but I feel so fine. Now I'm gonna see everything clear. Everything's wrong, but I feel so right. I tell myself it'll be over soon, 'cause I'm leaving here tonight. Oh baby, don't you know I never like to take things slow, so I'm leaving here tonight. Baby, don't you know I never like to take things slow, so I'm leaving here tonight. Well, I know that you won't go on. It's fun to pretend every once in a while, but I think our work is done. Been around for a minute or two, and I'm never sure what I'm gonna do, so I'm leaving here tonight. But baby, don't you know I never like to take things slow, so I'm leaving here tonight. Oh baby, don't you know I never like to take things slow, so I'm leaving here tonight.
Nice. That was cool. I like
Thank
that
you.
one.
Thank you. Yeah, that one's a little bit more like mopey or whatever.
It's like it's like a little emo pop sort of like ballad.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always got a doo-wop feel from it. Kind of
Oh,
doo-wop
yeah.
garage. You know, maybe a little bit of like anything that Phil Spector would have touched. You know, Ronettes and and stuff like that.
Like, yeah. When I meant emo, I meant like the emotional content more
Sure.
like than like the style.
Oh yeah,
But
right.
emo doo-wops sounds kind of like a fun genre.
Far out.
Emo doo-wop.
I think
Yeah.
also like, yeah, as well, like the way we're playing it is a little bit different than when we play with a full band.
Sure.
So
Oh, yeah.
like adding the electric piano and everything kind of adds that as well.
Yeah.
I think in preparing for this, we were all really excited and just, you know, interested in hearing how these songs turned out and playing in a different context. And I think that's one thing that I really appreciate about this lineup is like we're willing to go there together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we first tried that song with just keys leading, you know, we were all kind of like, whoa, like, can we actually do that? And we were like, yeah, it sounds good. Like, we can be
Yeah.
sincere. And, you know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, because
all.
that one originally started off with guitar, and then just for this, we were just playing it. And yeah, just kind of made it a little bit more moody with just the keys intro.
It's tasteful. I like it. I think if you guys did want to play that last one, we should probably hop right into it
Alright.
since we're running a little low on time.
Totally. Let's
And
do it.
I want to make sure you guys get your nice little Think So for recordings.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun, an absolute pleasure even.
I agree.
Pleasure's all ours.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hang out with you guys some more tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tonight's gonna be fun.
For
Pop
anyone
out.
who's watching live, we'll be at, if we didn't say it already, the Skylark Lounge from 9 until late,
Until
spinning
we're not.
records. And thank you so much for like having us. This has been super fun and such a cool setup.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
for coming out, meeting me, getting to meet Scooter, playing some music for me. I always feel like I'm in such a privileged position. Like, I basically don't pay for these like front row concerts that like people come and play for me.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
didn't even think of it that way, but that's gotta be super
Yeah.
nice. It's like, come to my house and play a show. Just
And on the
for
flip
me.
side,
it's
it's
special.
very cool as a musician just get to be invited to someone's living room and hang out with their dog and like just get put on like that. So it's
Yeah.
rad what you're doing.
Yeah.
The next iteration of Pink Sofa Hour, which hasn't been spoken of publicly, will be in a slightly more upgraded production location, but it will remain
Excited.
in my home. So
Is it still gonna involve a sofa?
it will still involve a sofa. The sofa will still be pink.
The casting
It's all
couch.
good, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
It will be a pink sofa with black stitching. Scooter, be careful.
Alright, let's see, what do I got?
Yeah, I'm digging the pink vibe. Nice you have the pink towel in the format.
Yeah.
Scooter.
I liked pink before the show started. So
Ah.
I feel okay in owning all this stuff.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, Scooter.
Scooter.
Alright, Scooter, this one's for you.
Very
Scooter,
pretty.
One goes out to the audience, Scooter.
Alright. Yeah, so this one has been out. This was on the Ain't There single. One of the first. This is actually, I think, well, it's one of the first songs I wrote for Wet Nights. The old bass player Sam and I sort of wrote this one together. But yeah, it's called Vicious Delights. Well, Lord knows I love getting fucked up. Now it's a part of my daily routine. And God knows I can't say no to a good time. But who'd have thought she'd be the death of me? She talks like a demon in the shadows of rain. She's gonna take it with her when she goes up in flames. She walks like a devil in the shadows of night. I gotta have you, baby, be my vicious delight.
And that has been the Pink Sofa Hour. Thank you guys again for being here.
Thank you.
Wet nights, everyone.
And you.
Watch out, they got a single coming out pretty soon here, and I'm sure that they're probably going to go on tour and then play Red Rocks right after. So
Hi, Mom.
First stop.
Bye, Mom.
tune into their sweet boogie loving and come check them out tonight at Skylark. Have a good night, y'all.
And October 15th at Lost Lake.
And October 15th, I love it.